My kids have been doing active shooter drills since they were in preschool, quite literally. And my daughter survived a mass shooting at Michigan State University back in 2023. And so these are scary times. And what happened Saturday night was incredibly traumatic. And we as a country should not have to live like this. But Trump being Trump, he had just about the most tone deaf response imaginable. He and Republicans are speaking with one voice, and that is, because of what happened Saturday night, we need to build the $400 million ballroom, the monument to Trump. And you know, I think we have just a bunch, right? This is all the MAGA influencers. Everybody spoke with one voice. We must build the ballroom. That's what we have to do. Not common sense common sense solutions to gun violence, not, reaffirming our belief in the First Amendment or a free press, which is what that dinner was supposed to be about. But no, Trump needs a ballroom to party with billionaires. So I know you wrote a very cutting piece on this incident, Edwin, that we ran today. Tell me what your thoughts are.
Oh, I have so many, and they continue to evolve. Look, the idea of a guy streaking through a whole hotel lobby armed and looking to hurt people is appalling. We live in a violent country, and we live in a violent country with more guns than people. We live in a violent country where we cannot regulate those guns because of a break with history with our Supreme Court that says, never mind the first 13 words of the Second Amendment, we don't understand them, so let's throw them out, as if that's their job, right? So they and the NRA, they've made the country far less safe, and you have heated political rhetoric, which I've engaged in myself, but I'm not the president of the United States calling people non-humans. That's inflamed some people, and it's terrible. But in this case, the Secret Service did their job. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. And this assailant never got on the same floor as the president or anybody who was in there, unlike those school children that you talked about before, right? I took the time to go through and find the numbers of shootings and murders just that same day, right around the country. This is a terrible problem. The safest place in the country at that moment was in that ballroom with all that protection. So there's a lot of, I know it's a frightening moment, but a little reflection will say, okay, but they weren't in the kind of danger that we put our school children in, right? The response from the administration is as insane as this administration. The response to gun violence in America is ballroom. And on top of that, the White House correspondents aren't going to have a dinner in the ballroom. They don't work for the president. That's not what that relationship is, so it does nothing for this. And then he's also blamed No King's Day for this violence, the most peaceful mass protests in American history. They just blame is what they do. Mm-hmm. And I suggest he decorate the White House with a few more mirrors and less gold, so you can see where the problem really lies. I had an interview this weekend on my radio show, Susan, with Karen Talian, who is the head of the Indiana Dems. Mm. And Indiana's done this remarkable thing. They've actually filled, every state Senate seat and 91 of 100 state House seats with candidates for the first time in Indiana, right? And she said she goes around the state and she often gets asked to give a little talk. And she says, well, I'll say a few words, but they're going to be Republican words. People go, what? And she goes, Doge, right? And she goes, tariffs. And, and she goes through that list. If we just say what the Republicans say, we should win in a landslide. If we just walk around the country and say ballroom, like the Republicans are saying ballroom, we'll win in a landslide. Because you know what? The difference between ballroom and the violence problem in America, it's unbridgeable.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's go ahead and play that clip of Lindsey Graham making the case with Senate Republicans about why we need this ballroom.
You know, everybody thought this is Trump making a monument to Trump, right? This is a vanity project. How many times have you talked to him about this? Like, every time?
It's important.
All the time. Like, how you doing? Where's the ballroom?
That's true.
How you playing? I don't know. I'd play better if you built the ballroom. It's all the time. It's like he understands what's missing. As a nation, we got a missing piece of the puzzle. The king's coming, right?
I would also say, too, that there had been a...
Okay, wait, what? The missing piece of the American puzzle is the ballroom, and the thing we should worry about is the king is coming? I mean, like, first off, okay, the king can show up. You know, when Queen Elizabeth was in Chicago in, I think, 1954, Richard J. Daley, the mayor at the time, not a big fan of the Queen, being Irish as he was, said, you know, welcome to Chicago. Next time you come back, you know, bring the kids. That was it. You know, there was no pomp and special treatment. I mean, we treat them like you treat a foreign dignitary, but like, oh, we should build a ballroom for the King of England while Americans are suffering. Wait, what? I mean, and the missing piece of the American puzzle is maybe compassion in the White House, maybe a sense that Americans matter in the White House, maybe a sense that our lives, that the purpose of federal government is to improve the lives of ordinary Americans. Those are missing pieces, I would say, that come way ahead of ballroom. But Lindsey Graham should lose too. He's got an election, and he, you know, didn't win by much last time. We'll see.
You know, if that's the best case that they can make for this ballroom, I mean, what a bizarre press conference that was. I cannot imagine that this was a great sales job to anyone, because building this ballroom is not popular, as you'd imagine it wouldn't be. I mean, gas is $4.20 a gallon now, thanks to the war in Iran that Donald Trump seems absolutely clueless how to end. We have inflation is ticking up also as a result of not just tariffs, but his war in Iran. And you have a let them eat cake moment coming out of the White House. You know, one thing that Donald Trump, I think, used to be pretty good at during his first term was divide and conquer. You know, he would take an incident like this, and he would be able to make the case for something in his agenda that was somewhat popular and could make Democrats look bad. He's completely lost the plot, because going for the ballroom is not going to be a move that's going to improve his poll numbers at all.